Hello, fourth grade parents. I'm Mr. Jones. Welcome to a virtual parent information night. Um, on a normal night, we would have you come into the school, of course. We haven't done that for a couple of years. And so I miss kind of doing that because it's a little more interactive, but I will do my best here with our slideshow. Normally our presentations are about 15 minutes. I'm going to keep this video to about that time frame. I have three goals with this video. One is that I want you to learn a little bit more about me, since I'll be spending time with your children. The second thing is that I want you to gain some knowledge of the nuts and bolts of fourth grade, some information you'll kind of need on a daily basis. And thirdly, just a brief overview and highlights of some of the things we're going to be learning here in fourth grade this year. Right. First of all, a little bit about me. This is my family. I have a wonderful wife, Brenda. We've been married 21 years, and she is a nurse at United Hospital. We have three boys, Liam, Lucas, and Logan. All three attend St. Ambrose, at least for this year. I have an 8th grader who will be graduating soon, which I can't believe. So my oldest son, Liam, is in 8th grade. My middle son, Lucas, is in 6th grade. And my youngest son, Logan, is in 3rd grade. We have 2 dogs at home, as well as a bearded dragon lizard, which is not pictured here. Our 2 dogs are truly COVID dogs. Doug is 2 years old and Russell is 1 year old. And yes, those names, if you're a Disney fan, do come from the movie Up, a Disney movie. A little bit about my education background. I attended Hamlin University. I originally had a degree in theater, of all things, and through working in theater and youth theaters and directing and writing plays for children, I became interested in education. I went on to work at the Minnesota Children's Museum for a number of years and then decided to become a classroom teacher. So I went back to Hamlin and got my education degree in elementary education. I also have 60 graduate credits toward my master's in reading instruction. These are some handouts that I included in the folder that you got on Back to School Day. Normally I would hand them out at Parent Information Night, but I did hand them out knowing that this was going to be a virtual Parent Information Night this year. So if you are missing any of these things, please contact me and I'll get you another copy if you need so. Our daily schedule, I'm still kind of working it and tweaking it. It's different every year. So I'm finding kind of the best schedule that's going to work for us in these next couple weeks. And then I'll get a daily schedule sent out to you as well. That'll come home in your child's homework binder. Let's talk communication. The number one way I communicate with you about what's happening in our classroom is through our weekly news note, the S'more newsletter that goes out. There is one that goes out school-wide from the office, and there are ones that come out individually from us teachers specific to our classroom. I put a lot of important information in there, so I really encourage you to read those every week. I know I have 3 boys, so it's kind of hard to read all of them every week. I understand that, but there is important information in there, including important dates, some highlights of the things we've learned the previous week, and also a preview what we'll be learning the next week. Should we go to distance learning, we will switch over to communicating through Google Classroom. I'll have a whole probably separate video or information should that need arise. I do send out Friday folders, of course, school-wide. That's something that we do, and I usually have work that I've returned from the week, maybe some tests that I've graded are in the Friday folders, and also maybe instructions for some of our bigger projects that are homework projects that happen throughout the year. I've already sent home a scrapbook project that's due on Monday, September 13th, and so hopefully you saw that information in the previous Friday folder. The Friday folder will also indicate whether or not your child completed all of their homework for the week, and if any is missing. The best way to get a hold of me is to, initially at least, is to email me because I keep my email up. I try to stay on top of it during the day. I check it during my breaks, but I don't always get to it. If you have a last-minute transportation change for your child, for instance, or some other emergency, it is best to contact the office, and then they'll contact me. I don't always get to my email, and I always feel bad if there's a transportation change, say your child is switching from bus to car at the last minute. I don't always get those if they're sent to me at like 2 p.m. in the afternoon. I'm probably teaching. So the best way is to get to the office if you can, if that ever happens. And that should be everything. But my door is always open. You're welcome to stop by before or after school. I'd love to meet with you at any time about how your child is progressing or any other things or questions or concerns that might come up. We have a weekly homework tracker. We also have a binder, which I call the homework binder, and you've probably seen those come home already at this point. And that's just a way to help children stay organized. There's a folder in there for homework due tomorrow. There's also a folder in that binder for homework that might be due off in the distance, or just our anchor activities, which are activities that students can work on when they're done with their regular work. I just have them stored in there, or sometimes I have them stored in their bin here at school. So, also on the homework tracker, I'm asking that at least at the beginning of the year that parents just sign an initial each day to show that you've read what the assignments are. Sometimes it's just a list of assignments that we did during the day and children are done with them. And so I'll ask them to write the word done underneath so that you know that it's completed. If it's not completed, it will come home. So my philosophy on homework is I assign some because just being aware that homework is a part of their life, especially as they get into junior high and high school. But I try to keep it minimal. We work really hard during the day, and I would rather have them energized and ready to go each day. So I have certain homework pieces that I've made flexible, realizing that this community especially is very busy with activities, I've noticed, in the evenings. And the last thing I want is your child doing homework at 9:30 at night after all of their activities, right before bed. It's just not a great time, a great use of their time, and I'm not going to get their best work. So I would rather have them rested up and ready to go during the day. That being said, I do have some homework that I assign at the beginning of the week that is due at the end of the week. And these are those things right here. That includes regular homework and spelling. You'll see in their binder they have a choice of spelling activities that they can do to practice their words. So I ask that they do one of those activities per week and turn it into me. I also have a reading log that I ask 20 minutes 3 times a week, which isn't too bad. For some students, that's very easy. For some, that's kind of a mountain to climb. But I ask you to sign that reading log and make sure that your child has filled in that information, and that gets turned into me on Fridays. Otherwise, homework is generally just items that were not finished in class. Some kids will finish in class in that time period. Other kids will not. I try to hit that sweet spot where everybody can have a chance to kind of finish in class, but it doesn't always work out that way. So I do ask children to take it home so they don't fall behind if they do not finish in class. We do have occasional long-term projects. This scrapbook project that I sent home is kind of an example of that. Normally, though, I give you a much longer time on these projects. For example, we'll have a cell model. We'll have a state float that goes with our state report in the second half of the year. There'll be a spoon saint. That will actually be the next one coming up. And so you'll see those projects, and we'll usually give you a good month on those so that you have time to get materials that you need. And I have materials that I can supply as well if you ever need some of them. So that is our homework. Fantastic Friday Fun Day. So students that have completed all of their work for the week and turned it in on time to me earn Fantastic Friday Fun Day, which is basically an extra recess time that we have at the end of the week on Fridays. If children do not finish their work, we do ask them to go to the homework room where they finish that work, and we help them with that. And if the work is completed, we just ask them simply to bring a book and read there, and hopefully they can earn Fantastic Friday Fun Day the following week. Tuesday Lunch Club. So this is another incentive I have. This is more based on behavior. I have a very simple behavior system in my room, which is we have something called the book, and it's just really a notebook. And I give warnings in class, usually 2 warnings. If it's a third warning for the same behavior and the behavior hasn't stopped, I'll ask that child to put their name in the book. We'll usually have a little conference together to talk about how we can improve the behavior. If your name is in the book 3 times in a week, which really takes a lot, then you're asked to stay out of Tuesday Lunch Club. You just go eat in the cafeteria with the other kids. The Tuesday Lunch Club is just a fun incentive. Kids come to the room and they get to eat lunch with me in the room, and we watch just kind of some fun videos or YouTube videos that are funny that I have previewed, of course. Kids really love it. And by and large, kids earn it every week. It's usually not a problem, but I just kind of dangle that out there as a carrot for some good behavior during the week. And so far, this class has been wonderful. They're doing just an awesome job. I also have something called Jones Bucks. You'll hear the kids talk about that. I also use that. I like to use positive reinforcement. So the Jones Bucks are a way for me to reward kids for positive behavior or for doing some extra credit work. They also get a weekly salary, I've decided, each week, introducing them to the real world a little bit. So they get 3 Jones Bucks at the end of the week, and with plenty of opportunities to earn more. And then they can use these Jones Bucks to shop in the Jones store, which has some pencils and erasers and just kind of fun little trinkets or even pieces of candy that they can buy when the store is open. So you'll hear students talk a lot about these. I have a Star of the Week. I sent home all of the information on that, and in the effort to keep this presentation short, I won't go over this too much. There is a sheet that really describes what to do each day. I've modeled it for the students so they now know. And also, you'll see a calendar of this when your child is Star of the Week is on the back of the description. So if you need another one of those, let me know, but I did send those home in the Back to School Day folder. A brief overview of our curriculum. In the classroom, I teach math, language arts, social studies, science, and religion. The students go to specialists for Spanish, physical education, music, art, computer, library, and one thing that's not on here is STEM, which we've added in the last couple of years, and students really look forward to seeing Ms. Jorgensen up in the STEM lab and creating wonderful items. Math. Here are some of the things that we'll get to in math this year. A big part of 4th grade math is review of longer addition and subtraction, long division, and geometry and fractions. We spend a lot of time on fractions in 4th grade. The number one thing I can say for helping with math, parents always ask, what can we do at home? One thing you can do is really hit those multiplication facts hard. Really make sure that they're fluent with them. They are the basis of everything we do here in 4th grade this year. So that is very important. We'll hit it in the classroom, but it's really important that it's reinforced at home. Secondly, I'll give you more information on IXL. IXL is a computer program where your students can, your children, I should say, can do some extra math practice at home. I also have them do IXL at school, so they'll be very familiar with it. I will say kids who do IXL really have a lot of success with math. So if you can find time during the week to do that, it would be great. I always include, in my upcoming s'mores, I'll include information on how to log into IXL, as well as what skills would be appropriate for that particular week. Okay. Here are some our math centers in action. We play a lot of games with math, try to make it a lot of fun. Math is fun. Also, language arts. We have reading workshop. I try to provide independent time for reading, but we also do a lot of novel studies in 4th grade, and we kind of hit the state standards for reading through the study of different novels, trade books. And even if your child has read the particular novel that we are doing, to reread it and dive into it more in depth is always very beneficial for them. We also have spelling, of course, weekly, and we do a lot of different writing projects throughout different genres. We'll spend a lot of time on paragraph writing this first half of the year. Here's what we're learning about in social studies and science. Generally, in social studies, we are doing a trip around the country. Region by region, we'll learn about the economy of each region, a brief history of each region, and also the landforms and natural resources that make that region unique and contribute to the economy of that region. We also just study the people and kind of general culture of that area. So it's a lot of fun. We also have a big state report that we'll do the second half of the year where your child gets to choose a state to study in depth, and we'll have more information coming out on that later on. Science, we learn about living things and cells. We'll do a big cell project where the students will make a cell model of either a plant or animal cell this year. We'll also learn about Earth and geology. We'll also learn about matter, electricity, and some engineering, of course, through our STEM classes. We will have access to there is a way to have access to our textbooks, so I'll get that information out to you soon, as well as I mentioned how to log into IXL for that extra math practice if you want to do it at home. Here's our science in action. More science in action. And of course, religion. We are a Catholic school. This is what we do. And so we have weekly masses for religion. We also have a wonderful textbook that takes us through different topics. and hits the standards that the Archdiocese wants children to learn at this age. My big goal for religion is just taking these concepts and making them applicable to fourth grade life. And so we do that through virtue circles and morning meetings where we discuss a lot of different topics with religion as well. We also have a lot of fun crafts we do with religion and projects. So students really look forward to our religion time. We talk about the St. Ambrose way. These are the things, the values that we really hold dear to our hearts here at St. Ambrose. And also we tie in virtues with that. This year, the virtue that we are focusing on heavily is the virtue of generosity. And so we've already talked about that in the classroom. Our class will also adopt another virtue that we're going to really work on and promote throughout this school. And so that'll be a lot of fun. As I mentioned, I do a morning meeting. We do virtue circles where we discuss these virtues. These are fun. These meetings give every child a chance to speak about virtues or just even just what they did over the weekend. It's a good community builder, and we do a lot of fun activities. Because of my theater background, we usually end the meeting with some kind of fun theater game to do at the end. Finally, just looking, a lot of people ask me, what can I donate? What can I help with the classroom? Thank you, by the way, for all of you who donated so many things here at the beginning of the year off of my list on Back to School Day. I really appreciate it. I'm always looking for books. I have a wonderful classroom library. I'm always looking to expand it. So if you have some books laying around that you're no longer reading, I would love to take them into our classroom library. Kids really enjoy it when we get some new books coming in. I really highlight them, and they get snatched up right away and checked out to be read. So that would be wonderful if you could provide that. Other than that, I think we're good. We're set for the year. So thank you so much. There'll become a time probably halfway through the year where we need more pencils. That always comes up. All right. Oh, well, that's the end of my presentation. I want to thank you for watching this. And I look forward to a great year with your children. I'm super excited for this year. And it's going to be a great year. Thank you so much.